Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the finale for Season 12 of the Super Formula Racing in Assetto Formula Racing. I am your commentator, David Cook, and I'll be joined by Sarah Mulfitova and Luca Santorbi in a good few moments. But first and foremost, obviously, we've had 10 rounds. We already have our Drivers' Champion in Icebrand Stopper, who has beaten Andy Park in an emotional race in Road America last week. Then it is the fight for third, really, between Johas and Makova, including Gorolshak, if he is contending today, and Haikalis may have a chance. Mulfitova, Leon Jenkins, Spider, and Peters round out your top 10. And then outside of that, from 11th to 15th, it is Lamberson, Kay, Boxall, Fitzgerald, and Tuki Gonzalez. Then from 16th to 20th is Basu, Bikes, Wenger, Nakashima, Alhafe, and then in 21st is Wendell. And for your team standings, well, it's very unlikely Dogpaw will make their way back into proceedings. They are unfortunately very much out of this. So as long as Porsche just secure everything in qualifying, that's very much it then for Dogpaw. But otherwise, we are going to go into your race feed now. And we're going to have a look and see where things stand with qualifying at the moment. But first and foremost, we are going to introduce your co-commentators today. And at 32 degrees Celsius in Suzuka Circuit, we have co-commentator Captain Boxy here.
Hello, I'm looking forward to this finale here.
Absolutely, and of course, throughout the broadcast, intermittently so, we will have input from our own Sarah Mulfitova. But anyway, it looks to be a very hot race here in Suzuka Circuit today. Don't forget to bring your strawberry shaved ice, and don't forget that the bubbles are made of 90% water. Don't forget that. So in the Suzuka Circuit, Boxy, Suzuka Circuit, what a track that we are live at today.
I mean, I've already had 2 shaved ice creams today with this weather here, but yeah, Suzuka being a track that is quite notorious in racing itself, and with these cars here, I believe this being their home Grand Prix here, so it's going to be quite an interesting one with this Suzuka here as we're coming to you live.
Absolutely. Currently, it is Park leading the stand, well, leading qualifying as it is right now, with Makova 3 tenths behind, and then Korolchak. Oh, it's Makova there having a moment in the gravel.
Not the line.
That is not the line indeed. And Sarah, could you please mute yourself in TeamSpeak? That would be nice.
Sorry, I have the same keybind for both.
Okay then. So you're gonna have a double Sarah for the stream. Why have one Sarah when you can have 2? That's always that's a saying somewhere, right? Why have one when you can have 2? You know what I mean? It's like ice cream or shaved ice. You know, it's just one of those things.
It should be fixed now.
There we go. Thank you very much, Sarah. But Sarah, Suzuka Circuit, is this a good circuit for you?
Yes, it is definitely one of the circuits in the world. Okay, so if this is the time to give fun facts about the circuit, it was opened in September 1962. It is a circuit operated by Honda, and specifically it was the founder of Honda who originally wanted the circuit built as a Honda test track. It is currently, as of last year, the only FIA Grade 1 track with a Figure 8 layout, which is one of the things that Suzuka is famous for. And it only got that status in 2024 when Fiorano was downgraded. Pretty much the layout that we see today is very, very similar to the layout that was originally built for this track, with only a few changes since its original configuration, with one of the most notable changes being this chicane that we just passed, the Casio chicane, which was added to basically slow down the cars for the main straight, because before then they would pass the main straight and the pits at a very, very dangerously high amount of speed. And so I think it's quite good that we have that chicane now because it just breaks up the flow a little bit, adds another overtaking opportunity, and also just makes it a little bit safer because I'm sure we would have seen a lot more incidents, or a lot worse incidents, I should say. And and today the circuit holds several championships, such as the Formula One Japanese GP since 1987, with a few exceptions where it was held at Fuji. Then the FIM Endurance World Championship, which is the motorcycle endurance championship, the Suzuka 8 Hours, then Intercontinental GT Challenge, Suzuka 1000 kilometers, and then it hosts Super GT and the series now known as Super Formula.
Precisely, and just to kind of add a bit of fun fact there, in terms of the final corner and in terms of that safety, it's very understandable because they would actually approach that corner at over 200 miles an hour. So of course you can imagine if you're the car behind, having to consider that. I mean, that's going to end in a massive accident. So it's completely understandable why that final chicane is there. Lamberson is just starting a lap right now, but we have a question in chat which I think is very relevant to today's proceedings. Guys, are there any DJs commentating today?
I believe it is you, Dave, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think that's you, Nick Mark. If I'm not mistaken, that's your name.
I believe for today's race it will be. I think we already have some song requests, no?
I do believe we have, as we see Makova there, not relevant to the question we just asked, but I promise you that Makova there, not requesting a song, but we do have Pearl Jam Even Flow as a request, but that will, because of copyright laws and for legal reasons, we may have to sing that as if we were in a karaoke bar. I cannot promise if the rendition will be of top quality, but that will come to you at some point during the afternoon's proceedings. As we do come to you live from Suzuka, as Lucas, such as a tyre expert as yourself, you see, I drive a Seat Altea, right? And I want to know, as somebody that's recently started driving my Seat Altea, I would like to know what is the perfect Yokohama tyre for my Seat Altea.
Well, the perfect Yokohama tire for your Seat Altea is obviously a bigger inch tire to have that maximum grip, but also a all-weather wheel tire. I believe Yokohama has some of those in stock, but we don't want to be over-aggressive. Your car, of course, has some problems with that, so I would just go with a good, big Yokohama tire, but still nice and comfort for your car.
Thank you very much. I now know what tyre to drive to attach to my Seat Altea. We have Leslie Peters in the barrier at the exit of the Degner 2 circuit. It's a very hot Suzuka circuit today, so I can totally understand why Peters is struggling there. We also have High Callis, which is battling for one of the positions in the championship, one of the drivers for third place. 3.759 seconds off the pace as of right now. Comes across the line, and he improves up to 7th with a 1:36.5, so he's brought that time down by about 6/10. But unfortunately, still not quick enough to advance much further. As of right now, Sarah, I just want to hand a quick question over to you. Obviously, I don't think we have the Porsche Super Formula team racing as of right now, so I don't know if you can give us any more information about that, just from what's being seen on your end.
I'm not entirely sure, but I know in previous rounds we've had Chris Boxhall driving for Porsche, but I'm not sure if he was scoring points. But I think if they do have any drivers, it would be Chris. But if not, yeah, I don't think they have any drivers today because, yeah, if we remember back to last round, they had 3 drivers and it was Fernando Rojas, Iceman Stoppa, and Tuki Gonzalez. So I don't think any of them are here, and I'm not sure if Chris Boxhall was declared a Porsche driver for this round. If he wasn't, it is fully in Dogma pretty much needs to get a 1-2 in both sessions today to win the championship. It's not impossible, but it will take a lot.
So, as the saying goes, it's not impossible, but very unlikely, as I do believe we saw Lamberson start his qualifying just a few moments ago. Does anybody want to go for a hot lap in this wonderful Suzuka circuit, which we are live from?
I mean, you see on board of Lambertson going through corners 6 and 7, and now through the Dunlop curve. This left-hander pretty much flat through here. The 8 Degner curve, just a little bit of a lift, avoid that inside curve, and then for turn 9, just space, maybe touch that inside curve there as well to not upset the car too much. And towards now the hairpin of turns 10 and now here 11. This is the one where you really need to get your car set up beautifully and for a good exit as well. There we see Lambertson going a bit safe on the gears, shifting early to avoid a lot of rear wheel spin. And now towards turn 12, this right-hander basically flat again, and through spoon curve turns 13 and 14. Really need to get that slingshot effect of the car. Just go inside then outside, and let that car fully turn in for the turns 14 curve. I think the wheel has been let go there for a second, but it has been picked up again. Now towards turn 15, 130R, flat through here with these cars, and he hugs the inside for turns 16 and 17 and 18. The Casio triangle, as of course a chicane does that form, and now for the exit of turns 18, hugging the inside to minimize lap time and across the line. Does get fourth, but I believe it didn't improve lap time wise.
No improvement there for Lamberson. Let's go over to Makova. Apparently, we've got somebody in chat saying that we've lost the constructors. Apparently, somebody from the Porsche Super Formula team is in chat right now. I don't know. We really don't know the situation, so Dogpaw might have a chance here. Everything I said earlier on might be all of a sudden nil and void. Oh, Alex Muck there, disqualified for teleporting. We do need to say that as well. If you do teleport, sadly, that is the end of your session.
I have to add on.
Yes, go on.
This is an interesting one. Going to the finale with Porsche having such a big lead, you would think, you know, they had like such a soft cushion underneath them to Dogpaw that you wouldn't expect them to lose it all in the final round in a way that no drivers will be able to score points at them. And now Dogpaw here, I mean, with 4 minutes remaining, already taken 1-2 so far. It's an interesting one, interesting way to say I've lost the championship by having a big lead into the final round, but then not having any drivers score any points for said team. That's an interesting one for sure.
Definitely, I have to agree with that one. Great insight there from our fellow commentator there. Johan is at the moment just beginning, well, is actually in the middle of his flyer with just under 4 minutes to go. Crowley here, which I assume was Muck, wasn't looking at the fuel, and that is why he had to be teleported, so that makes sense there. Thank you for letting us know. And, commiserations to you. Hope the feature race goes well for you. Boxall's had a moment as well as Johan Koroshak comes across the line with a 134.2, so that will not be any sort of improvement for the French driver, and he will be able to go again so long as he has the fuel. Makova, looking to try and take away pole, is also starting another flying lap, so we'll go to Koroshak first, but importantly, Sarah, out of these three drivers between Park, Makova and Korochak, who do you think's on for pole here?
Andy Park, definitely. He's undoubtedly one of the top 2 drivers of this entire season, which has been pretty much the title fight up until the previous round between Andy Park and Isran Stopa. Those two have been completely unmatched this season, and the only thing that was really keeping them level with others at times was consistency or bad luck, and especially in the sprint races where they would be put back into the field and they would have to fight through it, which is where the carnage sometimes happens. But in terms of raw pace, those two have been above everyone else, and unfortunately, Icebrand Stopa cannot make it today, so you won't see a champion, our season 12 champion, enjoying his last drive in his championship winning season. But at least we'll have a close fight for the team championship.
And it looks like Makova has just gone fastest in Sector 2. Obviously, it's a shame to not see Stopper attending the final round, and I'm sure Park would have loved to have had one last go at Stopper for this season, and maybe just take a bit of pride into the next one, but I'm sure this is good enough, as Makova with 5,000 separating the two Dogpaw teammates. It is pole position as of right now for the American driver. Park just begins his flying lap, but Karolchak at the moment has just gone through the anti-backed curves, or the snake corner, and he's now gone through Dunlop into the Degners. So at the moment there, Karolchak currently fastest in Sector 1. Luca, exciting stuff happening at the end of the session.
Really is. With 1 minute remaining, how the time's going even higher. The drivers are finding those final attempts in those corners where they really need to, as with Makova getting that provisional pole so far, might not stand for long, and Koza with 200s already up on his lap time. That is 2 pole positions so far. So look at the lap time. The second line will be after the spoon curve here, after turns 14. So we need to keep an eye out on that middle sector. He has a bit of traffic up in front, but that can help with the slipstream in front. That is, I believe, Garachville staying in front, but that's 3.5 tenths lost there. And it really needs to be a fly of a final sector here to fight Makova, but this can help to get P2.
Oh,
but Kratos is not getting out of the way, and he's not required to. He's on a flying lap as well, so Johan should have backed out of that. If we're going by the rules, he should not have tried to overtake. So that might even be a potential penalty for Johan, and really, really bad luck that he started the lap and mistimed it so badly, because it was looking like such a good lap, but when you're entering your lap, you need to watch out for these things. You need to make a gap ahead of yourself so you don't catch up to any potential slower drivers.
Qualifying has now concluded, and well, several drivers on their final flying laps as Karolchak started another one. He certainly has, but look who's in front! It's the driver in front here that was made contact with him on the last lap, and now through the Degners. That's really dreadful for Karolchak. This is a nightmare, and all of a sudden now I think he is going to have to settle for third. The driver gets out the way eventually. But of course, as Sarah has already mentioned, with Jiri on a flying lap, there was no need for them to move. So Karolchak, let's see. Oh, that is a 10th down in Sector 1. Makova has finished their lap. They are on pole, obviously, for the time being, but no real improvement. Anti-Park down by half a second, so I think, guys, it's Makova on pole position.
Does seem, with Makova's spectacular lap with 4 minutes remaining in the session, that one really helped Makova get their pole position, as you said, by 5,000. That's incredible. And according here, it could still, P3 is still very much open to full position. So Chris Boxall here could, with this lap time, if he manages to bring this together, could maybe get Carosa out of that P3 position. But Makova's incredible lap was helping them get progress. Chris Boxall was indecisive of going into the pit lane or not there, but decided not to in the end. But yeah,
qualifying over. We'll see you in the race session.
And race director announces the end of the session, and that will be that. So Makova on pole, and that was a bit of a shock there. Sarah, that was not what you predicted.
It is not what I predicted, but however, Juniper did do a lot of laps in practice, and she was one of the fastest people in practice. I think out of all the races for in the season, she practiced for this one the most, and she wants to win this one the most, as we see people flying through the ground because we are switching over to the race session.
Race server is now online.
But yeah, Juniper has practiced for this race a lot, and she really wants to win this, and it really shows what she can do when she puts the time in. And I think she's absolutely one of the fastest drivers in this league when she practices. But unfortunately, she's a little bit busy with real life most of the time, so she doesn't get to do this often. But when she does, this is what happens, and I'm really happy to see it
And
as
also,
a former
just
teammate
to
of
confirm
hers.
once again, the race server is now online. You have 2 minutes 30 left.
And there we go. So Nick confirming that we have 2 minutes 30 left until the race session begins. Now, I've just had a chat here saying we lost the constructors unless Andy and Juniper make some stupid mistakes. So there you go. I think that's confirmation that if Makova and Park keep it 1-2, then that is very much that for the Porsche Super Formula team. And, well, they are relying on Karolchak doing something magical in the race. So, 22 laps of Suzuka circuit come your way. It is a hot one, and it will be a medium race here at the circuit today. And we're coming to you live from Suzuka circuit. Luca, thoughts before the race?
It is an interesting one for sure, with qualifying being the way it was, with the two dogpile cars getting pole and P2 in that regard. Karolchak, though, could have an impact in the race, as a race pace is, of course, different than a quali pace, and it is just gonna see who gets those 22 laps correct for the whole part of the feature race here. So let's say at the beginning of the race, who might get that jump, who is gonna get the pace, get the strategy out the way, and also
Hey,
the
David.
consistency.
Yes?
Hey David, guess what I'm about to say?
What are you about to say?
Could I please see your screen?
Yeah,
Yes, no
please.
problem at all. Just want to ask, guys, how can we tell who's driving today?
I cannot tell because you're not streaming.
I think I have a list here with the teams and drivers' names.
I see. So that's
Made
how.
for
How
you
can we tell
specifically.
who's driving on screen? Oh, wait a minute. There we are.
Steering wheel is not centered.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
Dave,
a bit
that's not
unfortunate
very good.
because I don't have a steering wheel connected to. Unless if I can disconnect that. No, it won't go away. Wonderful.
Oh dear.
Hang on, I can just
Oh,
just
dear.
hide it. Oh no, that's
That's
not what I
not the one. That's not the
anyway,
one.
guys, we're about to
Welcome
go for
to the race,
lights
though.
out here in Suzuka. This is a little bit annoying, and I do apologise. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 red lights for the finale in Suzuka. It's green for the last time this season, and I think Karolchak gets a good start there. Makova was equal to it, but look at Karolchak. Are they going to make it? Oh my God! There is contact, and Karolchak is round. Andy Partner. Oh, there's more drama in the background, and I've lost everything there in a matter of moments. But 5 cars involved in a collision.
Only 5 cars made it through turn 1.
Indeed, and Karolchak is in the wall. Oh my
dear.
words! That is disaster for Karolchak, Luca.
Oh dear, they tried to make it 3 wide into turn 1. It was never gonna happen. They tried to close the door, and with the nose being in contact happened. It was incredible that Andy Park managed to keep the car slightly in one piece, as he was fully involved in the incident. Makova was really lucky that just barely touched that, but with Karolchak fully sliding across the road, it was just basically bowling into turn 1. And the pins got all taken out, and it's incredible how they managed to. It's a loss of words, as such a big incident like that really is not like nice to see in a finale race like this.
The thing I'm wondering now is who has damage and how bad is it? Because we see Andy Park in P4 right now. He was involved in the incident, but maybe he has a little bit of damage as he's now using push the bus to get past the outlet mark as quickly as possible to make progress on its fight back to P2. He's only 5 seconds away from P2, so I'm sure he can catch up to it, provided he does not have any bad damage. But considering he's not going into the pits to do an early pit stop, if he has any damage, it's not bad enough.
To find out as now we see Lamberson and Boxall swap position. That is Chris Boxall up into second place. Now, just a little reminder on how the session will work. There is a mandatory pit stop to serve before the end of the race. It is mostly for fuel, if I'm not mistaken. Do correct me if I am wrong. But I do. Maybe you can change tires as well. Sorry, can you fill me in on that one, actually?
Yeah, you can change tires, you can refuel, you can do anything, but you must add at least one liter of fuel or change tires for your pit stop to be valid.
Bad news for the Frenchman. Koroshak currently in the pits from 9th position. Evidently the damage too bad to continue. He now gets back underway, but now 21 laps of damage to the car. I don't think he's going to be making much more progress up the field, to be honest with you. Andy Park, though, has managed to recover into some sort of momentum. Remember, the Dogpool drivers need to finish first and second in order to take away the Constructors' Championship from the Porsche. Oh, and Koroshak is disqualified, though. So the one thing that could have helped Porsche this race is out of the equation. Now Porsche are looking to Boxall and Lamberson, but now we see Peters go side by side through the 130R, guys.
Incredible there on the outside. No one wants to back out, and it's now Peters up in front of, I believe that's Alex Muck there. That was incredible defense through there, but he just couldn't make it stick. And just like that, on the outside, kept it together inside the white lines as well, which was beautiful done. And now Alex Muck needs to find a way past again, but between Markova and Park, the only thing that Porsche can rely on, well, as you said, Dave, is Box and Lamberson. And can they put it? Andy Park's mistake with that little incident cost him a bit of damage, but did it cost him the race? Will he be able to catch up? That is what Porsche, they said they lost the Constructors unless Andy and Juniper make a stupid mistake, and with turn 1. And of course, it's just where the adrenaline is the highest, mistakes like those can happen.
Well, it technically wasn't their fault. It was, unfortunately, contact with Koroshak, but I do think that corner 1, especially in Suzuka, like, you can't really go 3 wide. It's hard enough to go 2 wide there. Of course, they did widen the circuit. I believe it was after Ayrton Senna and Prost made contact, which gave Ayrton Senna the 1990 Formula 1 championship in that controversial race. But Johan Korochak saying thanks in the chat, so clearly something happened there that he's not too happy with. But anyway, on to matters on track. Andy Park is approaching 3rd place driver Lamberson here. He goes through the Casio triangle underneath 0.8 of a second, make that 0.7. It is going down corner by corner. It is only surely a matter of time before Andy Park, oh my goodness me, fastest lap of the race. That was something else I was going to add on. Andy Park currently in a zone here that he is rapid on track, wouldn't you agree?
I agree a lot. Andy Park really, after the incident, now has set his mind to that P2. He is fighting. This is for his team here, and he knows it's all on his drive now, what may count, and Andy Park just needs to bring this together. He is fully one with the car. He is involved full on, and now following the car up in front. Lamberson, is he gonna make it easy for the overtake? Is it gonna be hard? Lamberson can decide how hard he defends, and Andy Park needs to watch out, though. I believe he still has some weird rear wing damage from the incident, so he needs to look out not to over push the cars. Once the temperatures go above a certain point, that rear grip will really just become undrivable.
And as we are coming to you live from Suzuka, Sarah, have you brought any strawberry shaved ice into the commentary box?
I have not, but we might bring some good news soon from a special guest, which we will interview. But before we get to that point, the unfortunate thing, as we saw on lap 1 with the incident, was that there was no safety car, and that is because for 2 reasons. Unfortunately, today we could not have a safety car, and race control was busy doing something else. Wait, Juniper has DNF'd?
In the box. She's just pitted. It's alright. It's just box.
Oh, okay. Okay. I hope so. But the leaderboard is showing.
That's not driving the car.
Yeah, she DNF'd. She disconnected.
Oh my word. More drama here in Suzuka. It has been a hot race.
No.
That means Porsche Super Formula are your Constructors' Champions. On that alone, it's over for Dogpaw Racing. They will not be crowned the Super Formula Constructors' Champion. Porsche Super Formula, congratulations to you, Makova. Wow, unfortunate luck. Luca, I mean, it always sucks when the game goes against you for one reason or another. It's something that you've been attested to before. Luca, can you take us through how Makova and Dogpaw Racing are feeling right now?
It is a heartbreaker. It is, I have to say it like this, it is a heartbreaker, and I have to see that you were leading, you were the one hope for your team, and seeing that going into this round, your rivals aren't there, so it is quite on your drive that counts, and nothing else can be on the line. And it just hurts to see that it just goes all the way because of a game disconnect. And as you said yourself, I had suffered this once myself, losing a win because of a game disconnect, and it just hurts because it is outside of your decision to do this. It's nothing a mistake of yours or in your grasp. It just happens just around you, and it just hurts the most. And I believe in that cockpit, or now I believe just at home, some words will be said against the screen for the simulator here, and really tough to hear. And well, congratulations to Porsche to win the championship in a way. To win the constructors by not attending the round is, I have to say, at first I've heard, but still an interesting way to win the championship. Congratulations to Porsche for that.
Exactly. Well, Andy Park now really just driving for his own self. Sadly couldn't take away the Drivers' Championship had that go against him in the last round. Of course, Iceman Stopper is your current champion. He is not here this week. Now, I do just want to say, it may show 9 cars on the relative, but there were 10 at the start. It's just one of them didn't make it across the first mini sector. They got taken out and they were disqualified for teleporting into the pits. So we are missing one from the list. So what was 10 cars is now 7. And Lamberson not really letting Andy Park get away as things stand right now. But Sarah... as we have seen a mistake here from Boxall, as of I was just about to probably post a question to our wonderful co-commentator. Boxall makes a mistake out the final corner and gives the lead to Park there.
And what is the question?
The question was, Sarah, was actually to do with pit strategy at this current moment in time. As if you were driving this race and you saw this situation as it panned out, let's say second place, what would you do at this current point?
At this current point, I'm just looking to extend as far as possible, and there is still a long way to go in this race, so there is no need to panic or pit early. If P2 boxes early, that is objectively not a good strategy, because usually when you're pitting in this league, you are also refueling. So not only are you pitting too early, because ideally you want to pit towards the middle of the race if you are focusing on your tire strategy, but you're also making your car heavy for the entire race, which will slow you down. So even if Boxall gained more time by having fresh tires, he would not really gain anything due to the fuel situation, which means that in this league, you will often see people pitting as late as possible, or just a little bit later than the halfway point of the race. And until we get there, I can't really tell you what Andy or Chris are going to do here, because it really depends on the gap between them. If Chris goes for an undercut, I expect Andy to react fairly soon after he pits. But if the gap is big enough, I expect Andy to just extend the stint as much as possible. Though without the risk of a safety car, he may as well just pit a little bit earlier as well.
At the moment, we are seeing Jury catch up to the back of Alex Muck right now for 5th place. Very much going to be a quiet race right up until the pit strategies, but I would imagine, Luca, that this race would pick up after our pit stops. You would think, anyway.
Yeah, this pit stops will will make the cars feel a bit different as Alex Muck's the fence fully on the right hand side, but Katrochville was already there alongside, and Alex Muck really did not want to let him pass, but now literally inside, but did not quite manage to get that braking point down. And I believe of Alex Muck as well, he had a mistake in the happen 2 laps ago. Those rear tires are not up to health anymore, and oh, there's a big mistake by Katrochville. Kratochvin has lost that P5, and these two are squirming for that P5 like it's the last day on Earth. And, well, until those pit stops then happen, those tires will be up on good health again, and, well, the cars might be a bit heavier, as Sarah said, but, well, once that happens, this bad will go on from an old big mistake again.
What's happened to Andy?
Andy Park has certainly had some.
He's had a bad lap.
And guess what? Boxall posts his personal best at the perfect time. It's a 1:34.5, not quite the fastest lap, but it looks like Park has got some competition. Now, of course, Boxall will start getting that dirty air, so he might just want to take it easy and wait for the strategy to play out things stand right now. He doesn't want to get caught behind that dirty air and then overheat its tyres, and then all of a sudden, it's all said and done. No, Driver's Champion is certainly all said and done, but I do believe that is Iceman Stopper in the chat as well, so he's just being a bit cheeky there. But anyway, at the moment, Andy Park with a mistake has now got Boxall on his back, and they both share 6 push-to-passes to go throughout the entire race. So we're nearing the halfway stage, and both have been very aggressive with their use of that power increase. So as of right now, coming through Spoon, it's I don't really know there. Andy Park using all of the track. I guess if you're gonna pay for the track, may as well use all of it. But here we go, Boxall on the attack here, Luca.
Of course, Andy Park trying to get as big of a exit there as possible, a bit of a slingshot effect, as I said in qualifying as well. But Boxall with that slip, incredible. He even just pushing past. He's looking for the inside. Will there be a later break by any one of them? Andy Park breaks just a tad later, helps him for the first part of the corner, hurts him for the second one. He's goes a bit wide on the outside. Now Boxall takes a long way around. But does he have to run side by side? No one uses push pass on this straight. And now for turn 1, who will be late on the brakes? And will be one of the that looks me Andy Park, which is a bit more confident in their car for turn 2 there. And now through turn 3, now for the S's, it's really important. Following, it's tough with the dirty air, but also you have to be careful here. But now Andy Park still has that run here, but Boxall just doesn't seem to be losing too much time with that dirty air. But now through the corners of Degner curves of 8 and 9, this is where a first opportunity can happen as the run towards the happen of turn 11.
Strategically, that was a perfect defense from Andy Park because he went quite risky. He did not deploy a push to pass and let Chris go side by side with him. But the important part of that is that he stayed ahead, and now Chris has one less push to pass than Andy, which means that Andy can combat his push to passes with a push to pass on his own, and then have one more push to pass left if they both run out, which is a very, very important strategic advantage in this league.
Thank you very much there. And so there you go. The push-to-pass situation is also one to consider. And Sarah there giving her insight. She has driven these cars before in this very league. And she's the perfect one to know what is going on inside that cockpit. So her insights are always welcome whenever she inputs on the broadcast. But there you go. Park finally starting to get a bit of gap. And that will be why it is Boxall into the pits here. So that means we will have to cut away from this for a few moments' time, as though Andy Park will now go surely to try. What would you do, actually, if you were in Andy Park's shoes? Would you go in this lap to cover off Boxall, or would you stay out for just a little longer?
I do think I would pit this lap and also deploy a push to pass on my in lap just to cover Chris Boxall off. I'm sure Chris will also waste a push to pass on his out lap, but I don't know. Andy should have a slight time advantage here, and I don't think the fresh tires make that much of a difference. Plus, it will take Chris some time to get used to those tires. So I think I would cover him off and pit right now. But I think it's gonna be very close.
Absolutely. So, as of right now, Andy Park very much being conservative with his push to pass as of right now, even though he has been aggressively using 4 push to passes. As of right now, Park just going through the Spoon corner and now down onto the second straight, and this is the start-finish line for the rest variation of the circuit. And now through this left-hander of 130 out, beautifully done there, and they hug the inside in these cars due to the aerodynamic advantage these cars carry. One thing I do want to say though is that Lamberson has been a very quiet contender here. I don't think he's going to be within the race win, but for third surely, as Andy Park there skips his pit stop on this lap anyway, so he might come in the next few laps. But now Boxall has very much got to be on it, Luca.
Of course, now with Lamberson, as I said, very quiet race, but in P2, now in the pits, which is an interesting strategy, which we would expect Park to do actually, as Sarah said, but take that advantage of Boxall's undercut, but Park just decides to stay out longer. Maybe he's confident on the stage. We don't know how good the driver with the tires feel. Of course, really depending on how you set the car up. It's semi-fixed, as I understood, but you can still change the slight modification. If you decide the car is better, a bit slightly than Park's full stages, you just stay out longer. But I wanted to add as well, our two drivers who have retired are currently in a voice channel together in the paddock, probably having some words about what happened in the race start. I believe they were.
I don't think them specifically were involved. I think it was more Johan and Andy who were involved in that.
Well, I believe more is happening. Some tears are being shared after one
that is definitely being shared. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite sad to say that that's how it has to happen, end for a team like this, but at least some emotions will be still shown at the end of the race.
Indeed, it's certainly going to be an interesting post-race interview, that's for sure. Probably one filled with emotion, and of course, it will be quite a while since AFR are going to be around again. As after Season 12, we will go on a slight break and then return in due time. At the moment, Sarah, do we have any dates on any return or nothing at all at the moment?
It will probably be about a month before the next season, so nothing too long. But really, it's due to the race director that we have, or I think series manager. I'm not sure what the correct term is, but yeah, our series manager is Juniper for the Super Formula Series. As we see Gratochwil have a spin at the S's in Sector 1. That is an odd place to have a spin, but probably caused by either clipping the grass or taking too much curb, because that is a quite tall curb, and cars don't really like tall curbs. But anyway, yeah, we're probably gonna have a little bit of a break due to Juniper moving in real life. So.
Oh no!
We do need our race director. Oh, that was very sketchy. I'm glad there was more space on the racing line than we thought from our camera angle.
I apologise for talking over you there, Sarah. Unfortunately, I just seen Boxall having a moment there, and I'm just like, what? And, well, he's back underway, but I think that fight for the win has really now gone, so it is just Andy Park. By the way, I did forget, because I was just watching the YouTube chat every now and then, just when I can catch a glimpse, as Boxall is now catching up to what is going on there. Oh, that is Catraville. I was like, oh my goodness me, really should be allowing that through. Qualifying rules don't apply here, my guy. You should really allow them through. You are being lapped, and that does eventually happen, but that was sketchy going into the first Spoon corner, Luca.
Yeah, into Spoons, you never want to actually go side by side, as we see the line taken by Andy Park. The line goes from full-on inside to full-on outside, and then back to inside. And if you go side by side through there, you really need to take account that another car is there. And basically what happens when you go normally through that corner is the car takes itself throughout. Then Boxer goes again for a second pit stop here. I believe that's cause for damage or just for a new set of tires, as with that spin. Yeah, those tires might not be in a good condition, but as I said, side by side through many of these corners, it's really risky as the car takes itself sometimes through the lines, and as a driver you're mostly a passenger is what the car does, and mostly that's how incidents happen. Tunnel vision happens, you look at the corner and the next moment you see a car right on your inside or right on your outside, and a slight touch happens, and that is enough to make your car go all sorts of ways.
We nearly saw a sideways moment there from Leslie Peters, the South African driver. Luckily kept it all together as now, well, with Boxall making a second pit stop due to damage on the previous lap. We now see Andy Park lap who he was racing, and that just shows you, well, how much time is lost in the pit stop. So that's Callis up into 4th place even. But at the moment, the immediate chase is with Peters and Lamberson for second. 4 seconds separating the two drivers. And Peters might just have the edge there. But with 8 laps to go at the line for these drivers, I think it is going to be rather tight if we do see any sort of battling. Just a bit, there's just a couple of debates going on here. Some people debating if it's better to pit later on or if it's better to pit earlier on due to tyre degradation. But obviously each driver to their own, and it does depend on their setup, of course. But anyway, Nick Nocciolina Racing Team saying, is Andrew driving? I do believe I saw an Andrew, and he was sadly disqualified earlier on for teleport, and he was involved in that 5-car incident into lap 1, turn 1, started by a 3-ride moment with Johan, Makova and Park there. But sadly, so yeah, I do believe he was disqualified. But that I would have to double check after the broadcast. Luca, I do believe this is your first time commentating on AFR. How has it been for you as we come to you live from Suzuka?
It has been quite a roller coaster. At the beginning of the season, I was meant to sign up as a driver, then had issues on my part as well. So this is my first time in the comms booth in this league here, and I have to say, interesting. Some drivers' names come familiar from some other parts, but it is just interesting to see them all together again here, and with a race like this in the finale where the team standings were still open till the end and the drivers still had some fun to bring it together. I have to say, this has currently been certainly a fantastic experience.
I'm glad for you to hear that. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, and yeah, it is now as we are seeing Peters approach the lap car of Alex Muck, who just kindly gets out the way. Of course, he was involved. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. So you know what? I'll just leave that to one side because I don't want to bring up the past here too much. It's always better to move on. But anyway, at the moment, that's a 135.491 for Peters. So it looks like to me, Lamberson and Peters are currently on the same pace. Boxall is still trying to catch Callis at this moment, and Sarah or Luca, in fact both of you can try and answer the question. If you're Boxall and you are fighting for the lead and you see that car go past you and then all of a sudden you're 1 lap down, what are you feeling there? What is kind of your strategy for the rest of the race, so to speak? Sorry.
I've been in this position before, and I have to say it hurts for a while, but in that moment I just want to just forget about it, just drive and hope to catch up to someone just to have a battle, because that's the only thing that can really calm me down. Just a fun battle and just feeling like I did something and I did finish the race.
Yeah, I have to say on my side as well, I once had this experience as well where my rival lapped me once doing a race that I was hoping to have a good position in that moment, what runs through your mind is many different things, but you really need to keep your mind set to one thing, and that is driving and still face it the right way. Boxall here has that mentality still. I just saw a fastest lap of the race under his name, and that is just, you need to think, all those negative thoughts are just going to make you even slower. And you just can't have that model up your mind for too long, as if you just think of all the negative parts of, oh, Andy Park has let me here, and that was my rival for the race, and I had to fight him to get the position. Well, at the end of the day, he's not the only driver you're fighting against, and Boxall is just 2 seconds behind Callis, full P4, which is still a really good position. And if he just keeps Andy Park in his mind, that P4 won't be up there, and that can just hurt the way he drives and just the whole mentality for the rest of the race. And it just seems to me that he has set himself a good point to follow, and that is exactly what that should be in your mind during a situation like this.
I do have to apologise because I've lost connection to the TeamSpeak, so if you do have any updates from the race director, you two, please do pass them on when you can.
Okay, so the TeamSpeak server closed because of Nick losing power, so we won't have any race control for the rest of this race.
Thank you very much, Sarah. So thank you for updating us on that one. We do apologise, everybody, as Katrochville has had another mistake there, and that's from a very similar place there. Very much what we saw a few laps ago, and he's struggling to get that rear end under control. Don't crash into High Callus or box. Oh no! No, this is not what we wanted to see at the end of the season. Oh no! That is, oh goodness me, I've got no words for that, in all honesty, and I think I'm just going to avoid speaking altogether. Luca, anything?
Oh dear, I believe I saw what happened. I have to say, no blame to 7-Navy, but Katrochville.
Andy Park is going to be passing them soon, so I hope Kratochvil gets his car in control soon, so he does not crash into the leader, because that would be horrible. God, I hope nothing happens here. I'm honestly holding my thumbs, praying to anything. And okay, we have survived a lap.
So I believe what happened there during turn 4 was Kratochvil was just trying to get the car back running after that spin, and
he has suspension damage.
Oh goodness!
You can tell from how the car is driving that he has suspension damage. If you look at his onboard, his steering will be bent.
Yeah, after an incident like that, suspensions there luckily the only damage that you want to have out of that. But I believe he just spun his wheels trying to rejoin the track, let by. I believe there was Haikalis who was just ahead, but once he just set foot back on that accelerator, yeah, that was just him having no control of the car and just being sideways on the track. And that moment, sad to say, a boxer was just trying to go for the same piece of tarmac, and huge incidents where both cars were up in the air. Boxer's his chances now for a good position. After I said his mind setting straight for a good position, now really has just set his mind to finish the race, bring it home. But it is really unfortunate after an incident like that, and I hope no words will be said afterwards. So oh dear. I believe hopefully no drama will happen after this race, but I'm not hopeful for that.
And you can see, wow, I don't know if anyone caught the steering angle there, as, yeah, Boxall fully retires from the session. He's had enough. I don't think he's going to be very happy with Kratochvil there. Kratochvil. Thank you very much, Sarah. I'm so sorry to anybody from Czechia watching that. That is totally my bad. So anyway, 4 laps to go. And, yeah, it has been, well, it's not been the ending we would have liked for some drivers, especially for Boxall. Looked like he was going to give Andy Park a final run for his money, but sadly wasn't meant to be. So we are now seeing, well, a wonderful story here for the South African driver Peters. I actually remember commentating over him. I think it was in BPR in the Formula 3 series, and now I am going to get to see him on the podium. So a little bit of a wonderful story there, Peters. It's an absolute pleasure to commentate over you once again. It has been a while, and yes, can't wait to see you come to the end. Hopefully nothing happens to you, but anyway, Lamberson as well, great race for him. He's going to finish second place as things stand as of right now, but Park, well, he is going to be a winner here at the Suzuka circuit, where we have come to you live from, and we'll come to you live for another 3 laps or so. We may not have any strawberry straight ice, and we may not have Dave From in the commentary box, but we do have my wonderful friends here. It's been really fun, let's say that.
I do want to give you an update on the situation.
Yes, please,
in the
Dave.
championship. So, the results of last round were not finalized yet because the stewards had trouble reviewing the track limits. As we see Kratochvil make another mistake at the assist again. But yeah, the stewards have had some trouble reviewing the track limits, so we have not gotten to reviewing the track limits yet. And if the results of last round stay as they are, with the standings that we see here in this race, Andy will have lost the championship by 1 point. But if the standings change and Icebrand loses points to Andy as a result of some track limit penalties from last round, Andy can still become champion here. And it all depends on penalties, for which the stewards have not reviewed yet. So at the end of this race, we might not know who is champion.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That
Go on,
is
Luca.
an interesting way to end the championship on a flyer where we don't even know who will be champion after the final round. Incredible to think that it is just question marks all over the place, and these will only be answered after the race. So us commentators, we are also on the edge of our seat here as we enter the second to final lap now.
I would also like to apologize on behalf of the stewarding team because I'm a part of the problem.
I wish I had a joke for that one that would reference it, but do you need a list of who was driving in that race? Because I may have a list for you. As I appropriately get no response from that, so I will take that as a sign. But at the moment now, Andy Park, well, we don't know who is champion as of right now, but we do, I think we know Porsche Super Formula is constructors, I think. So again, I overemphasize I think, because again, we don't know. So as of right now, Andy Park will just bring this home. It has been very much his race. No real competition. Boxall could have brought the pain, but it was just some unfortunate incidents that he has been involved with, and now well, he has nothing to show for it now, just a retirement, a couple of laps. So, oh, it's confirmed. Makova saying note for broadcasters as well, just before I go on that, Leslie was here for the inaugural season of Super Formula, so Peter's history with this league goes way back. But now Andy Park will begin his final lap, and well, it has been an hot race, and Park has been cool under the heat of Japan, and he is going to have some strawberry shaved ice on the podium for when he finishes everything off, and he'll even come home to a karaoke bar version of Even Flow once he crosses the line. But he is now needing to go through one whole lap, 30 seconds to Lamberson. Lamberson using his second to last push to pass. Peters as well using a push to pass 4 seconds away. Peters and Lamberson trading lap times evenly. Alex Muck as well, showing that consistency is sometimes the best case scenario. He is currently 5th, maybe 1.5 minutes to High Callis in front, but he has been out of the incidents and has gotten himself into no trouble at all. And well, that 5th place is on merit alone, even if it's just consistency. Sarah. Oh, goodness me.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Andy Park now is on the east section of, no, west section, I should say, of the circuit. He is now coming through the 130R, and he's going to approach the Casio Triangle for the last time in Season 12. He comes through the final corner, maybe champion, maybe not, we don't know. He wins the finale in Suzuka circuit to Xenogenesis, something like that, as now Lamberson will follow through. Luca, you've got something to say to me, I think.
It was. I was just about to say that this is a ending to a finale, which is just beautiful to see. And as you said, Andy Park has played his cards to perfection, winning the race by not only a big crash at the start of the race, and oh, Alex Mark makes a mistake there, but not because of a big mistake in turn 1, but with just his raw pace, wins by 30 whole seconds. And Andy Park, if that's all what you call deserves, then I don't know what is deserved.
I don't know there, but Alex Mock, well, I would have liked to have seen him just make no further mistakes on the final lap, but never mind. High Callis there has just gone through the very tight hairpin here, and he's just going through 200R right now and approaching Spoon Curve. But anyway, guys, I think Sarah needs to get your flute. You need to get a flute, right?
I'm not playing the flute. I'm sorry.
Okay, then, no problemo. Luca, do you have an instrument of any sort?
My voice.
I mean, that works too. We can a cappella this. But anyway, we'll wait for Alex Muck to come home, and then we will sing the AFR trio version of Pearl Jam's Even Flow, requested to you by the #1 car of Nick Foster or Andy Park or maybe Mark Nick. I don't know, or Nick Mark. I don't know. Lucas said a bunch of crap before the stream, so that's just context for you there. But anyway, Muck is going to come across the Casio triangle now. He will come home, I think, what is a season best 5th place there, but don't quote me on that either. So through the final corner he comes through, and there he is, 5th place for Muck there. Or maybe not. Is you absolute tease. Alex, you absolute tease. But anyway, I believe we have a rendition to start now. So, who wants to take this one away?
I think we need... Dave, we need to count it down. 3, 2, 1, no?
Fair enough. I'll do the countdown in 3, 2, 1.
Reason rests his head on a pillow made of concrete. Oh, feeling. Okay, pardon, that's enough. That's enough here.
Even flow. Thoughts arise like butterflies. Oh, he don't know. So he chases them away. La 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 la. Anyway, we believe we have now murdered everybody's ears enough. I did need to get that chorus because reasons. But yes, we do apologise on behalf of Nick for his power going off, and unfortunate there. But yes, Nick Mark there with the Nick Mark trio with Even Flow. At the moment, we do have somebody waiting in the interview room, so I will bring them right in. And I think, Sarah, I think you should lead the questions on this one. And it is Juniper Makova. Hello there. I can imagine. I was going to leave the questions to Sarah, but they haven't unmuted. So I'll just start off not the way you wanted that to end, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably karma for lap 1.
I mean,
yeah.
Can you actually take us through that incident on lap 1? Because that was rather dramatic.
I'm just a plain idiot.
Oh.
I'm just an idiot, yeah. No, I could have crossed Steel Hunt too late. That's literally all that happened. I was an idiot.
Okay, so you're taking responsibility for that because we only saw a rear view mirrored version of the incident. So we basically saw the back of it, and it just, I mean, to me anyway, it looked like Johan was trying to go for a gap, which was very much closing. Do you not agree with that assessment, I suppose?
I mean, he had it. Me cutting across made the situation worse than it already was. So,
I see.
Yeah. If I didn't cut across there, he would have been fine. I know that much. Me cutting across his nose kind of killed him.
Okay, I see. Luke, do you have any further questions?
Well, I just want to say, the emotions are probably all over the place after a race like that. With that lap 1 incident, then said that retirement, and I believe it was because of a game crash.
It was indeed a game crash. Yeah.
Would you have thought if that game crash wouldn't happen, would you think you would have gotten a win, or do you think Andy Park would have been?
I would have probably won, honestly. With him fighting Chris, I most likely would have won. If he caught up to me, I would have let him take the win just because, he's still fighting for a driver's championship. We don't know yet. Like if he caught up to me, I would have just let him pass. But like,
speaking of the drivers' championship, I talked about this on stream. This is more of an update for the stream. So I talked about this on stream where the track limits for last race have not been reviewed yet due to the stewards being lazy. So that is our fault. So we don't know this. We don't know the standings as of right now. If the results of last race don't change, Andy loses the championship by 1 single point. That's one single point.
The point I took for pole.
Yes.
Qualifying. Yeah.
I'm not gonna blame you here because it is I would not want you to not fight for the win that you really want to get since the start of the season, really. but yeah, you may have lost him the championship, but it is still
He told me that. I kind of
is-
noticed halfway through. I'm like, oh,
It is
wait.
still-
Oh shit.
but it is still possible for Iceman to get a penalty. But anyway, I did want to ask you about that. You were after looking forward to this race for so long and practicing for it, showing incredible place in qualifying, beating Andy Park of all people. How did you feel after that lap in qualifying?
It was an okay lap. It wasn't my best. Him giving me slipstream was what got me to pull lap to begin with. And then I didn't have enough fuel to give him
Okay.
slipstream back. So,
At least you can feel better about yourself that Andy
Yeah.
gave you the slipstream.
yeah.
Andy gave you the pole position, so if he has himself to blame.
I mean, I was supposed to give him slipstream the next lap. I didn't have enough fuel. I also kind of may have parked it into a wall through the darkness. But we won't get into that. That's just that now. That you never saw it, it never happened, okay?
And next thing I want to ask you is, are we going to see you next season? And are you looking forward to next season?
Most definitely. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Mind my French. I'm coming back with a fucking vengeance.
Lucky this stream is not for kids. Very lucky in that regard.
Hard words chosen here.
Definitely.
No, I took this season as a learning experience to try to get myself back to the form I had when I first started here, and I could safely say I'm back at that point. Next season is balls to the wall. I'm winning this. I'm giving them a fight. I'm giving Andy and Isbrand a fight because I know I can, and I'm back to the point where I know I can. So stay tuned next season.
All right. Well, Juniper, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to answer our questions. Disappointment for you, I imagine.
Do you guys have any questions for next season? Because I'm also the split admin, so I could answer those as well.
Well, actually, I've totally not forgotten to do our sponsor for today's stream, so I might just have to run that very quickly. If you don't mind, just taking a bit of a moment there to allow me to run the sponsored video. We'll be right back. So stick around. We're just going to give thanks to our sponsor, NordVPN, and we'll take it from there. We'll be right back.
This stream is driven by NordVPN, the leading VPN to protect your online activity. Safeguarding your identity and data is as important as ever, and NordVPN's threat protection feature can guard you from malware, ads, malicious sites, and trackers. NordVPN allows you to virtually place yourself in over 59 countries worldwide with access to over 5,500 servers, all while maintaining purple sector speeds over the competition. NordVPN also provides extra features compared to other similar services such as no bandwidth or data limits, highest industry speeds, allowing 6 simultaneous connections, and no data logging. Also interested in password management or cloud data storage? Well, NordPass and NordLocker have you covered there too. Check out NordVPN using our link nordvpn.com/AFR with a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee and use code AFR to get 1 month extra free.
A massive thank you to NordVPN, and now we will return to interviews. So I guess any questions about next season, put them in the chat now. I'll try and pass them through. But anyway, I guess if anybody else wants to get started, is there anything you want to say in general before we start any line of questioning?
I would just say calendar is going to be a lot different than what we've seen. I've pretty much prioritized doing tracks that we actually have never seen the championship before. So there's going to be a lot of new tracks, a new format. I won't give any hints on that at all, but it's going to be a whole new format in general. So there's going to be a lot to look forward to, I think. So.
All right, and any questions from there on out?
I don't see anything in chat.
I do want to ask, when do you expect the season to start? Since it's basically waiting on you.
I'm moving next week. I'd say probably registration should open maybe first or second week of February. And I'm probably going to go for like a March season start, most likely. Like first week of March for the season start.
So to anyone watching here, get buy the car and get yourself ready for next season, because we would love to see you there. I think if we don't have any more questions, we can move on to
Yeah,
interviewing
there's
other
people
people.
waiting.
Yeah.
There's people waiting.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have three people waiting, and I'm sure 3 very interesting interviews from 3 very different perspectives.
Absolutely. Juniper, thank you again for taking time out of your evening. And, well, look, we hope, see you next season. And we look forward to what's coming next for AFR.
See ya.
See ya. I'm going to drag in our winner of today's race and potential world champion. It is Andy Park. Hello to you. Congratulations on what was a dominant win. Take it. That was kind of, I would say that was easy for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Mildly. I still had to fight pole position, but yeah.
That was really about it. It was your teammate Juniper that beat you by 0.005 of a second there. What were your thoughts going into the feature race? Was there any communication with Juniper beforehand, or did you just kind of take it as you both saw it?
We both had the plan of I mean, I knew that the championship was still kind of still in the cards. So I mean, Juniper still wanted to win, but if I was fighting for P3 and my teammate was fighting the championship in that circumstance, I would have immediately given the chance to win it. So we were like, okay, I hold off Johan, which sadly turned into that wreckfest. And then I was like, okay, the 1-2 is basically in the bag. And then she got a screen freeze. So then I kind of just kept it clean, kept it consistent, and made it.
And really, you did a good job. There was just a bit of pressure from Boxall there, potentially after your first pit stop, but then that kind of faded out very quickly. In terms of going forward, now, we don't have results confirmed for round 9 in Road America. We're still waiting on those once the stewards just get certain things together. Do you think you could win the championship just by sheer luck, or do you think it's just a bit beyond you?
I'm not new to miracles, David. I think I can trust on this one. But whatever happens, happens. I wasn't really aware of the consequences that me giving Slipstream to Juniper would have. There's you're allowed to feel like you can't really feel bad if you lose a championship after giving it your all. After all, it's your 100%. You must move forward with the efforts that you've given. But there's a different level of hurt when you give 10 times more than everyone else consistently, and you get constantly like screen freezes, connection issues. And I've had, like, on the last 2 races, I've had heavens throw pressure upon me with these last chances of making points. And even in this last round, I had no idea that Paul will give me the championship. So losing the championship after all those circumstances by 300ths of a second, I don't wish that upon anyone. But ultimately, one must roll with the punches, you know? I've always said in my mind, season 11 was integration, season 11 was season 12 preparation, and season 13 execution.
And let's just hope. Well, let's just hope the curse of the number 13 doesn't fall upon you. Any questions from any of my 2 wonderful commentators here?
I just wanted to ask how it felt after turn 1 like that. How it felt to then still be in the top podium step after a 20-lap long race like this one.
After the carnage, you mean turn 1 of 1? Or do you mean like
the turn 1 incident between you and Karolczak and also your teammate?
Oh, that incident. I would say I was nervous, but I've trained mentally myself enough to keep calm in those situations, because I've lost my own cool head multiple times. Season 11, that used to happen a lot. So I worked on it, and now it's kind of like, okay, avoid, go left, and just keep it steady. Since Juniper was in the lead, I was like, I cannot bottle the team championship.
I do have one more slightly personal question. whether you win the championship or lose it by 1 point, does it give you, or how do you feel about that championship going to Icebrand of all people? Because I know you two are quite close. So if you do have to concede the championship, do you find any sense of comfort that it's at least going to Icebrand, Stoppa?
Hey, that's a great question, by the way. That's a great question, actually. Um, I've spoken with Icebrand about it, and well, I do have to admit that sometimes emotions get a hold of me, but I try my best to whatever happens on the track stays on the track. And while I'm racing, if the person in front of me is like my boyfriend, a sister, or someone I've never met before, for me, every single person is just an opponent or a teammate. So I'm not gonna it's not going to feel different. But I do know that Icebrand has been having a tough time too. And he's really been trying to get the championship and consistency and hard work and a bit of luck. He's been running way more seasons than I have. So if I had to give up the championship to someone, it would be him. Yes, I find some comfort in that. I'm proud of him.
And that is a really touching way to put that there. And I think if we continue any further, that will just ruin the moment. So, Andy, beautifully said, and I'm going to leave it there for you. Thank you so much for an exciting season between you and Icebrand. And we'll see you next season, I am certain. Thank
Well,
you
I'm giving you
so
an spectacle season 13. Remember, mark my words.
All right, then. Let's hope the curse of the 13 doesn't catch you. Andy Park, see you next season.
Goodbye.
All right, then. Well, just before we bring in Alex Buck, we have Johan Karolchak, who was, of course, involved in that turn one lap one incident. 3 cars in there. Hello, Johan. Welcome back to the commentary box. And, well, according to Juniper, I owe you an apology. So, Johan, do you want to just take us through what happened into turn one there?
Oh, I'm quite sure you want to have the third guy involved point of view after having both of the other people involved. Well, I know I'm kind of a joker driver, like a bonus driver. They're not involved in that championship fight, but I still want that win, you know? So I had a great start. I think I had slight upper hand on Junie, and Andy started as well as me, but didn't use push to pass. So I saw a gap between both of them. Junie had kind of the same pace. I think at the end of the straight, I would have been side by side with her, but I cleared Andy. Right. So she had a slight twitch on the right, like when you want to cover or close the gap, but it was a bit too late and a bit overblown. So we made contact there. That threw me off the track. Yeah. And because I cleared Andy, he had the skill to avoid it. But because he cleared it, I just swept in front of him and not clipped him. So I know he's always using a push to pass at the start, but not using this time kind of saved his involvement in that incident, if I can say that. Otherwise, it was a short race. The car was quite destroyed, especially the rear. The rear was kind of orange. The front was kind of fine, but it unsettled the car. So I tried to bring it back to the pits. I pitted. I told myself that it can be hard, especially in Suzuka with the first sector, but I can try to bring home with 21 laps. Maybe I can do that. I know I could get up to P5, P4, P3, maybe that way. I didn't expect the race to go that way for the other guys, but I forgot to repair. When I saw I forgot to repair, I just instantly left. There was no point to another lap and then pit again and be 2 minutes away. No point in doing that.
No, understandable. And
what happened.
What happened, and I'm really sorry your race went down like that. And apologies if I completely saw the incident completely differently. That's on me there. Johan,
it's fine. You see, from your own point of view, we live it, and that's why in any major mechanical sport or auto sport or whatever,
Yeah.
it's why we have replays.
That's very
So
true.
don't worry, there's nothing. It's nothing.
Thank you very much for being so understanding, Johan. In terms of next season, are we going to see you as more of a regular in AFR?
We could. I think I'm on the verge of maybe committing to it full time. I was running Cyanide. It was this and other series. It was quite time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to finish my commitments instead of replacing them with other ones, even if I prefer the new ones. I kind of liked AFRs. I had a bad first experience I think a few seasons ago. This one was better, even with Road America in this race. But I don't hold those two races as the standards. I think so. Yes, I think I could commit to a full season there. I also that could be interesting because I'm a free agent right now, so I have no team, whatever. So I don't know if some people are looking to fill their teams. Could be we could do business together. I mean, yeah, I think I'm going to do the full season. I'm not entirely decided, but
All
yeah,
right.
totally.
Well,
Depends on the calendar and the context, because I heard Juniper saying she's prepared quite a few new things. So
thank you very much, Johan. Well, listen, we'll look forward to seeing you next season, as I'm sure some of us will be back here in the commentary box come season 13. We'll look forward to what you have in store then. And yeah, have a good break and see you when we see you next.
right. Thank you, great team.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and last but not least, we will now have Alex Muck. Hello, Alex. So it was a 5th place finish for you, and it just looked like the race was just uneventful for you. You kind of had a quiet one, just kind of worked your way up. Had a bit of a moment there on the last lap, which we did catch, but otherwise didn't really ruin anything. How was that for you? Hello?
Alex, hello?
Alex?
You've lost him.
We've lost him. Oh, PC in crisis mode for Alex Muck, so I think we will have to spare him an interview. But anyway, guys, I think that is going to be it from all of us here. Well, Foxy, for a first experience like that, I think you certainly had a good part, didn't you?
It was really, really fun from my side as well. There was just beautiful from start to finish, and I just have to say, an experience like this is mostly one in a lifetime for a start of the league, and for a league where I've been invited for the first time. Hopefully, I can be a bit of a guest for many more rounds. But for today, it was a fun experience. Thank you, Dave.
And Sarah. Sarah, what about you? It's been an absolute pleasure yet again to set a commentary box in another league. And well, I don't know if you have anything more to say, but otherwise, Sarah, just thank you for being you, and thank you for just being a lovely co-commentator to work with. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to share more of these races with you.
Thank you. I don't know how else to respond to that. Just thank you. No, but I've quite enjoyed the water here. It's like 90% water or something.
Yeah, the bubbles are made out of 90% water. There's just a little bit missing. It's like the alcohol. There's actually no alcohol in the alcohol, so it's just very weird around here, you know. In case if nobody knows what we've been talking about over the broadcast, when you've heard these very weird, out of context things like you might have heard, we are coming to you live from Suzuka a bit more times than you should have, and maybe a weird question about Yokohama tires on a Seat Altea. We have watched a video as collectively as an inside joke called the 10 Hours of Suzuka. It is a half-hour video from a channel named John Bacho, and it is absolutely essential viewing, and you should check it out when you have some time. Guys, I will be right back with you, but I'm going to sign off. I just want to say thank you to both of you for being your lovely selves, and I can't wait for more. Touche.
Goodbye.
Touche. Bye for now. And from AFR, that was Season 12, finishing off with Round 10 at Suzuka. What's next? We don't know. Join us back here in March to find out more. But your standings, well, as of right now, says Stopper champion. We don't know that at the moment. It is very much all to be decided. But I also do want to thank our sponsor as well, NordVPN, for allowing us to continue what we do here in the AFR Championship. And yeah, well, not really much more I can say for Season 12. We don't really know who is champion as of right now, but it is between Stopper and Andy Park. But a congratulations, we think we know is to Porsche Super Formula Racing. Congratulations on your Constructors' Championship, and we look forward to seeing you next season. But otherwise, from everybody here at AFR, which include the admins, the stewards, the drivers, and of course our lovely commentators, we wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive. See you in March.